Yes, I am Pierre Lemieux. I am a candidate in the Conservative leadership race, and I stand shoulder to shoulder with you in defending our right to freedom of speech here in Canada. Thank you all for being here tonight. Look at what we are able to accomplish together. And please join me in applauding Ezra Levant and Faith Goldie, the Rebel, and all the organizers of tonight's event for bringing us all together. I served in Parliament for 10 years as a Member of Parliament, and I can tell you that free speech is the strength of our democracy. The freedom to speak openly, without fear or intimidation, is one of our fundamental rights. Respectful discussion and debate is what allows Canada and our democracy to flourish. And unfortunately, these principles are under attack. And as you know, for quite some time now, I have been speaking out strongly to defend our right to free speech in Canada, particularly with respect to M103. And you have been so supportive, as you are tonight. Let's hear it for you and for your engagement. I have received so many thousands of emails from across Canada, from people just like you, people who have had enough. Chronic political correctness is strangling free speech in Canada, and it has to stop. M103 is nothing more than the Liberals' latest attempt to limit our free speech. And let me list a few of the problems with M103. M103 singles out just one faith for special protection. M103 invokes that term Islamophobia, but it does not devote one single word to defining what that means. And it calls on the government to use its resources in an all-of-government approach to address this problem. Unfortunately, protection from discrimination has now come to mean protection from being offended. But hurt feelings are not the same as discrimination. And having valid concerns about any matter in particular is not discrimination either. For all of you who have spoken out about your concerns, I personally thank you. And I want to tell you that Canadians are listening, and more Canadians are speaking out. And for example, more Conservative leadership candidates and MPs have joined me in standing against M103. And now, yes, that's good. That is a good thing. And here's some great news. A Liberal MP has spoken out as well. Liberal MP Ken Hardy. But don't clap too much. I obtained a letter that MP Hardy had sent to one of his constituents. And in it, he agrees with the problems we have raised with M103. And I published his letter today because I firmly believe that Canadians need to know what a Liberal MP is saying about Liberal motion M103. So MP Hardy says that he has a fundamental problem with the term Islamophobia. Exactly. He agrees that this word is not defined in M103. Precisely. And he says we don't need any new initiatives like M103 because we already have hate crime legislation in Canada. Once again, exactly. Yeah, he should join the Conservative Party. So I applauded MP Hardy for voicing his concerns, but the breaking news is that when the media questioned him today, Ken Hardy said he wholeheartedly supports M103. He is so liberal. He does not know how to stand the ground like you do. He has collapsed like a house of cards. A little bit of pressure and he crumples. Friends, we cannot rely on the Liberals. We do not need more liberal political correctness. We do not need more liberal restrictions on our free speech. Enough is enough. So I encourage you and all Canadians to defend our right to freedom of speech. I encourage Canadians to stand their ground on this key principle of our democracy. and I can encourage Conservative MPs and my fellow leadership candidates to speak out against M103 and to vote against it. And despite Liberal MP Ken Hardy's about-face, I call on Liberal MPs to listen to Canadians, to defend free speech, and to also vote against M103. So let me say thank you to each of you, each and every one of you, for being here tonight. Thank you for taking a stand on what really matters. And thank you to all Canadians across our country who could not be here tonight, but who also stand for freedom of speech. And before I go, what I should tell you is that if you like what you're hearing, if you stand for freedom of speech with me, then join the Conservative Party to ensure that the Conservative Party represents you on these key issues. That is a great way to be active. It only costs $15, and you get to vote for the leader that represents you and what's important to you. There are lots of forms at the back of the room, so pick them up, think about it, and act on it. In conclusion, I am Pierre Lemieux. I am a candidate in the Conservative leadership race, and know that I stand shoulder to shoulder with you in defending free speech here in Canada. Together, our voice is strong. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.